Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever. Office, summer house, wiring part 3 is this maybe. So we're at a stage now where the guy has panelled it all, we've got windows in, it's been painted, it is having another coat of paint, which was going to be this morning, but we've had a bit of a crossover where I can't do another day for another 2 weeks, so I jumped in, which means my life is harder now because as and once we second fix now, there is then a spray unit coming in to go back over everything. So I need to think carefully of how I want to do this and what we do to cover it up. We're using the BG Evolve range, the matte black stuff, which you've seen off the rewire we've just done over Stokeway, which is good for me because we can just clip the fronts off and we're not going to get any paint on the front bits, but we're still going to bag everything up. I'm going to screw stuff back slightly so the spray unit doesn't get within the patches and cover all the cables in paint. The lights themselves as well are brackets going to be screwed up, and because they are the JCC Sky discs, we're going to be removing the frame, putting it up. I might just unclip it and dangle it down with the cable that we've got, so we'll just see how we get there. So, but first things first, yesterday I had a couple of hours spare in the unit to prep all the stuff that I'm doing for this job, so I'll play you all this lovely footage now, and if you enjoyed the footage, you got to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. Enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that. So laser is out. I did ask the chippy that's doing this to leave the cables in the wall other than these ones. He has pulled them out, but he's drilled them all the same height within the center of the joist. So the reason being I wanted this left in the wall is I know that there's a joist here and there's a joist here. Other people before have decided to drill the cable directly next to the joist, so the fast fix box wouldn't go in correctly as is fitted. Manufacturer's fitting, you would end up cutting it and screwing it. Two, instead of the socket being here, it's been pulled out here. So one socket is either out or I've got to push the cable back in, pull it out where it needs to go. This bit needs filling, and on like a MDFE style wood, you would never get to fill it properly. It would always be an eyesore. These have all been brought out. The customer's attached a picture, which I put on the screen now, of the framework that's been put in for in and around the board to support it. The armoured, the cables have been brought through, so that's fantastic. So for the first time in a very long time, people say to me all the time, why don't you use frames for measure out sockets and everything? Because the few that I've got, this is too big for a, let's say, a metal back box, a knockout box, or whatever you want to call it. But it is absolutely perfect for a fast fix. Like this. So the laser's going to go out. We've had to drop them down because the guys drilled them up at 450, which is fine. It's only measurements. This could be laser out at the bottom. We're going to draw around that. We're going to get spade bit in the corners to make sure I don't jump out with the multi-tool and run it across the nice new wood. Like I said, can't fix it. Stick a new blade in this. We'll crack on with that, and then we can jump round and start doing a bit of second fixing. I'll show you what I'm going to do with this. I'll just jump in and explain this as well, because I did this on the rewire, but I didn't take it apart and show you guys. So I have got a hell of a lot of multi-tool blades still from when I did stuff with Bosch. Got packets and packets of them, and they're expensive, and I don't want to keep buying them if I've got something to use. But the problem is the Milwaukee comes with nipples, cool, on the multi-tool. So you need to have blades that have the holes in like this for it to slot in. But a lot of the ones of the Bosch ones I've got don't have holes in it, so they physically don't go on. And I know a few people in the comments saying this should have come with an adapter or something to put on, but if it was in the box and I don't have it, it was chucked away annoyingly when I did the unboxing. So I just got literally an old multi-tool blade. So the bit that I've cut off can just slot on into the nipples, and then my new blade without any holes in it, with the screw, will just go in. And because it's the same size and the same shape, it holds it in place. So if you don't have an adapter, guys, if you have an old multi-tool blade, just do this, tighten it up, and it works like a treat. And it comes to a few bits like this. So the homeowner put masking tape on the center of every beam, and as much as I would like to go and put this smack bang center, by doing that I know full well the arm is going to hit that, so we're going to have to just overlap it and do it as a wear. So it's going really well. Last socket, 2 screws left on the floor. It's very difficult to me or to anyone else to lose 2 screws. But there's only one, and they're the flat topped ones, obviously to allow the fascia plates to go on. I have looked everywhere for the past 10 minutes. I never put them on the floor because I sat down, did these 2, that I saw 2 on the floor, and I hadn't moved, no idea. And I thought, oh, what's that noise when I'm walking around? Sockets all second fixed except for the fronts, but I'll show you how. They're so nice. They're so nice. Ready? And this is a really good one. 21.6 watt output for USB-A and 21.6 watt output for USB-C. Like I said, we can snap them on and off. We're gonna get to this in a minute. But next is the lights. So there's 2 lighting circuits in here. We've got the JCC Sky discs, which are down there, which are going to go up shortly, and we've got the outside spots, which I just need to drill in. We've got a permanent feed in, and then we've got the internal JCCs, and this is a separate lighting circuit. This is a loop in, loop out, and it's not cut, because I'm going to do an NJ switch, a smart switch, which is just down here, the paddle switch. So this can be operated from inside, so they can have it as fancy garden lights and have it on an evening. They can just turn it on and off from inside. The sort of the cheapest alternative-ish to a point for these guys. But my problem is, like I said before, off the last video, is putting the receiver somewhere. I didn't want to go and put a blank box next to the Patras there. The reason I did the loop in, loop out, sorry, I've completely bypassed what I was going to say, is the reason that is linked in, linked out, and it's labelled. So maybe at one point when they turn around and go, we can't get on with the switch, we've lost it, or we don't like it, that can then just be spliced, cut, and made into a 2-gang switch or a 2-gang dimmer because the feed is there and to here. So I need to put the receiver somewhere. So I've got myself what is a 47mm fast fix Patras in the wall here. I'm gonna see if we can cut this little screw eyelet thing off there to make it smaller. If it will fit in there, absolutely fantastic. If not, the plan was always to stick it in the fuse board. And I did say this off the last video as well. People don't like it because it induces Faraday cage. That's it. And I put it on the screen last time what it is. I still can't remember what it is. But if it won't fit in there, it's going in the fuse board. I have done it before and it does still work and it gets signal, but people don't like it. But I thought I'd be honest. I can make that fit. He's done it. Don't get me wrong, I need to screw it back and make the cables off, but as of right now, I've got space. I just need to do it smartly. I would just thought as well, if that button's there, that's just gonna consistently right, it's the light time. Excuse the knocking and the banging, the chippies outside, putting the cladding on. So I've lasered up line to line. These holes aren't exactly in line, which isn't an issue because of this. So these are 18 watt, and that's why we put the, oh yeah, I've got this on. I won't show you what today, but we're not gonna get any power on, but obviously I need to sync that up, so we'll show you in the next video as and when we do power up. But we've got two ways. So we either cover that, so that's full distance, but the issue, because of where that hole is drilled and you've got the lip and the thing, you could do it in this divot here, but that's where the bracket slides in for the base. So I'm thinking we just bring this and we make it look nice, and we bring that in the center of the beams here, up there, in line. So it means that these brackets here, that's the measurement we want. So I make that smack bang center of the joint and put the laser directly in the middle of that. Copy that all the way around. That should be sweet. And like you saw from the video earlier, I went around, put two three-way wagos on, and then we've got the nice little diddly 2 ones just to link through the earth. So once that's on and you twisted it, you can see the little eyelets there. You can put a screw through there, fix that in place. You've got your 3 different color settings, 3K, 4K, or 5.7. We're just gonna keep it on 4K for now. And then the bezel will just clip up, but for the time being, it's just staying as it is. But the reason we have fitted these is, like, if you haven't seen the last video, the amount of summer houses and garden offices, or whatever you want to call them, what we've done in the past, where you've got a cold roof system, a hot roof system, whatever the systems are. When Celotex goes in, when you put a downlight in, you end up ruining it by ruining the vapor barrier and essentially just destroying the ceiling that the builder just worked hard on to keep it insulated. So these, to me, are the best go-to. They're brighter than downlights. They're easier to fit than downlights. There's less faffing than downlights. They're dimmable, which downlights are. But all in all, you've got a really cool bright light that hasn't, got in the way of the builder or the structure or the installation or anything. The structure, I know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, right, bye. Right, it's fuse board time. Lights are up. I've put an RJ45 on the end of it, and I've not got my boots with me. I have, but not them. Anyway, stupid joke. Fuse board time, right. Hopefully this will make sense now why I've done what I've done here. So matte black fuse board. This is the one that I sprayed. This is the one that's on the unit that realistically, I didn't make enough money off the video to actually purchase the fuse board, so that was a good waste of money, but now it's fine, even though I'm not getting paid for this job. Adapter box on the back, we did 32mm bush and lock ring. Then we did the same thing, we've got, I think this is a Hensal, like gland, very similar to the SWA Storm gland, in there with a fly lead. So let me get this up and open. Did another 32mm bush and lock ring. Did some bolts through to secure this. We've done piranha nut, which is a fake piranha nut, I don't know where I got it from, to earth the sheathing all the way through. So with this, the plan has always been to gland the armoured into it, because we've got the slack, slot that then into the wall, and then have this position. So I've marked out on the wall from the picture and the measurements roughly where the two struts of wood are, and then the joist coming down, so we can cut all this big section out, and hopefully it's enough room to to make it off, slot it in, lift it up. Right, so that's where we're at. I spent I spent too much time smashing out the back of this box to try and get this gland in, but this is all on, that's all pulled through, and now I can just slot that through there, poke the cable. Because the cable, the way I put it in the stud work, I can chuck the excess in the wall now and pull the remainder back out of the floor down here, and it will be tucked behind the summer house itself, so there is some slack. I just found this going to be a better way. One, you can't see it. Two, if this ever moves a bit, or they want the board moving, or all the complaints I got where this was clipped to the neighbour's wall, I can do something with it. So I'm about to head home. It's 6:10. I've just spent the past hour and a half doing a ring floodlight camera on the front of the house. I'll show you inside, but the guy who's building it is locked up, and I presume he took the key and I can't get inside. So I'll put a picture up now of me, the inside of the fuse board, all done, hunky-dory, all done and dusted. Annoyingly, I didn't have any earths leaving, or heat shrink, should I say, for the armour cable. But we had green and yellow tape, and then I'll show you a picture of the fuse board. You can sort of see in there, but I'll put on the screen now of what that's looking like. And then out the front, what I am going to do for the moment, we've just got the white bezels. These are the fire guards, JCC fire guards, and these are the anti-glare bezels. So this sort of LEDs are recessed back. But I'm just going to get some anthracite grey ones, obviously, so it matches in. But for the time being, but the power's not on. I've not connected up the armoured cable. I've not been up in the garage. That's for another day. But as for now, you shush with the wheelie bins. And that's us done. It's all right, the person making that horrendous noise with the wheelie bin was my best mate, because my best mate is with my sister-in-law, which is awesome. Anyway, love you, bye.